What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. So, of course, as we're all aware, one of the first wide receiver trades that has gone down this offseason, Deebo Samuel has been traded to the Washington Commanders. Yesterday, we did, in fact, do the Commanders rebuild with Deebo Samuel. So, of course, we're just doing the reverse side of the trade where we're rebuilding the Niners after they have traded away Deebo Samuel. So, let's go ahead, talk about it, and do this Niners rebuild in Madden 25 now that Deebo Samuel is no longer on the 49ers. Before we get in today's video, make sure you guys drop a like on this one and subscribe if you're new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciated. YouTube tells me about 85% of the people that watch these videos aren't actually subscribed. So if you do fall in that 85%, want to change that as we're on the road to 10,000 subs, that would be greatly appreciated. So I kind of gave my thoughts on the trade yesterday, but just to recap again, obviously, if you're a Niners fan, you would have loved to have gotten back more for Deebo, but off a down year and him wanting out, a 5th round pick is what it ends up being. It's also a salary dump. It kind of reminds me when obviously Amari Cooper was traded to the Browns for like just a 6th round pick or something like that because the Browns took his whole contract. Deebo only had 1 year left on his contract, so the Commanders are basically renting him. So yeah, I think it's a win for both sides. Although, like I said, if you're a 49ers fan, you would have loved to have gotten back more. It's just where his market is right now and what his value was at this current moment. You know, years ago, if you traded him, you would have gotten a lot more, but off and down here, this is what it ended up being. The Niners have quite a few free agents this offseason, so it's obviously going to be tough to bring them all back because Brock Purdy's extension, once you pay the quarterback, things become a little bit tougher. Obviously, they've had the luxury of having him on such a small contract as one of the last picks in the draft. But if we take a look at the roster before we jump into free agency with Deebo gone, there's also rumors about Brandon Ayuk being traded, which would be pretty wild if they ended up trading him too. I know they have some wide receiver depth with, Ricky Pearsall and Juwan Jennings, who are both solid, and then they could draft one as well. Then maybe, maybe they go forward with that. But we'll see. It's going to be interesting. And of course, they'll still have George Kittle too. But I don't think I'm going to trade Ayuk for this video. If they do, though, that would be pretty wild. It wouldn't totally shock me, but it would be pretty crazy just because you obviously have to save money by paying Brock Purdy. But offensively, defensively, so I know Drake Greenlaw is a free agent for them. I know Charvarius Ward's a free agent. And then Hufanga's a free agent. So there's a lot of different players for the Niners to worry about. And a lot of teams are going to be after those guys. Like, to me, as a Commanders fan, I think there's a possibility that Charvarius Ward comes to Washington. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Just one of my predictions, I guess. So, Dre Greenlaw and Charvarius Ward. So, I'm going to let Charvarius Ward walk because I don't think he'll be back with San Francisco. I'm not saying that it's 100%, but that's just my thought. I could be wrong. I'm not saying it's... but I do want to bring back Hufanga. Hufanga is only 25 years old, so bringing him back, a lot of these are just going to be re-signs, but bringing Hufanga back is one of the top priorities for me. Drake Greenlaw, I would love to bring back too. There's a lot of teams I would love to bring Drake Greenlaw in as well, but if we can keep him around, that'd be great. So Greenlaw, the Rams are in on him, and then Ward, I'm going to let walk, and then DJ Reed. I did saw a report that DJ Reed could follow Robert Saleh to the Niners, which I think could make some sense. Obviously, Robert Saleh coming from the Jets. Hufanga is here, so we're going after him. And then I guess we can make an offer at DJ Reed if Charvarius Ward's going to be gone. I know he just went through a horrible tragedy, so prayers to him, obviously. But DJ Reed, Dre Greenlaw, and then Hufanga are the 3 additions so far. And then I'll take a look at what else we could go ahead and offer. I know we could bring in Mekhi Becton as well. That would be pretty solid. Add to this O-line. Trent Williams actually retired, it looked like, in this file, so losing him is a little devastating too. Creed Humphrey's here, but it would cost us quite a bit of money to pull that off. You have Sheriff and then Zeitler. I guess Zeitler has no offers, so technically we could get him right now, but we'll have to definitely look for a replacement in the future. And then, is there anything else? We're bringing Drake Greenlaw in, hopefully. Chase Young would bring him back to San Francisco, but I think that might be... Maybe we could offer another corner as well, because there's plenty of good corners here. So maybe we bring in, like, Mike Hilton, too. We have Green, Lenore. I guess we bring in Reed, will be fine there. And then we have free safety. Who's our free safety right now again? It's Jair Brown. You bring in Simmons or Washington or Elijah Molden, who actually got extended in real life. And then there's Hufanga, which we're obviously in on. But if I get like Cameron Bynum, I think that'd be pretty cool. So let's see if we can get those guys to be the additions here. So those are our 5 offers. Dre Greenlaw, obviously, hopefully to bring him back. Zeitler, DJ Reed, Hufanga, and Cameron Bynum. And I think that'll be it because obviously we have to preserve money. So I don't think we'll get Greenlaw back as the looks of it. And no, he did sign. So we get Greenlaw, Reed, Hufanga. So the only guy we didn't get was we didn't get Bynum, which I guess is fine. So I think that's all we're going to do. Creed Humphrey's going to Washington, so that's a good addition for them. But I think that's it. I think we're going to head to the draft for the rest. Brock Purdy's extension is coming, so we don't want to spend too much money. It's going to be very tough to keep everything together. We'll just leave it at that, and I'll see you guys in the draft. So going to the draft, to me, the main weakness of this team is O-line. So we should be able to get a good tackle at pick 11, and that's where we'll be targeting. So it looks like both the tackles actually fell to us. I don't think a tackle's been taken yet, so no. Quite surprising because obviously the Bears definitely need one, but they took James Pierce instead. So we have Princely, we have Kelvin Banks, but I do think we need to take one of the tackles. So either it's Josh Simmons or I think Will Campbell. Yeah, Will Campbell's here too. Kelvin Banks. So either one, you really can't go wrong. I think they're all really solid, but I'm going to take Kelvin Banks here. We need to replace Trent Williams, who retired on us in this file. So that's an easy no-brainer in my opinion. Kelvin Banks, welcome to the 49ers. So that's going to, address the O-line problem right now. We brought in a stopgap for a year, but obviously need to keep building on that. So pick 43. I'm not looking for anything in particular going for the rest. We have Quinn Ewers, which we're not drafting a running back or a quarterback. GT in no world is going to fall this far, but Shamar Stewart, I actually don't mind the idea of. Or we could take another, or we could take a D tackle. So building the trench is always important. So I do think I'm going to take Tyleik Williams here. So welcome to the 49ers, Tyleik Williams. He's going to be our second round pick. 6.9 true value, drafting him at 43. Let's keep building this D-line. And then I would love Shamar Stewart as well. I would not have minded that. But GT was never going to fall to round 2, I don't think. Caleb Johnson to the Chiefs is interesting. Well, let's see what we can get in round 3 to end off this offseason. So we have Samson. We don't need a running back, obviously. Could take Cornelius, who could be a really good lineman for the future. Is there anybody else that's somewhat interesting to me? We could take a linebacker as well. Like, I don't mind the idea of Kobe King out of Penn State. So I think we'll go with that. So welcome to the Niners, Kobe King. Or do we want to take the tackle? Which one do we want? Do we want Cornelius or do we want Kobe King? Good question. I think we're going to take Kobe King because we do need another linebacker. So welcome to the Niners, Kobe King. C-zone, speed is good. So that will be our offseason A-man coverage. So that feels good. 105 true value, grab him 75, but he is a hidden depth. So we'll let the assistant GM take care of the rest. Overall, it was a solid offseason, but things will get a lot tougher next year once Brock Purdy's extension comes into play, which might mean more sacrifices by saving money in a lot of different spots. So here is what the lineup is looking like for year number 1. Brock Purdy, of course, under center with Christian McCaffrey, Isaac Garendo, Kyle Juszczyk is still here, Juwan Jennings, Brandon Ayuk, and they took Horton, but Ricky Pearsall, obviously the wide receiver 3. Banks, Zeitler, Brindle, and then we also have a depth center for the future too, so that's nice. Cole McKivitz, Pooney, and George Kittle. So the O-line looks solid. Obviously could be better, but it is solid enough for now. Defensively, we have Brown. We have Kobe King, who will move over to left or right outside linebacker here in just a second. Hufanga. We have Hargrave, Lenore, DJ Reed, Green, Leonard Floyd, Nick Bosa, obviously. So a lot to like here, a lot to be excited about going forward, and I think that feels good. So the only thing, like I said, move Kobe King over to right outside linebacker, and then we'll change the scheme fit to make it fit a little bit better somewhere. So we'll go base 4-3, and we'll see how this season goes. Obviously, the expectation for the Niners should be in the playoffs. If we don't, that would be a massive, colossal failure. We'll see if Madden agrees with this team being in the postseason. I would have to imagine that there's a great chance we do, but we shall see. I will see y'all at the end of year number 1. So at the end of the season, we finished up at 9-8, which is over 500. Unless if we got the bye at 9-8, we didn't make the playoffs. So that is obviously extremely disappointing. We were 1 game away from winning our division, which would have put us in. But unfortunately, we did not make the playoffs, which really sucks. DJ Reed was great. 8 interceptions on the season. So that's all handy dandy, but missing playoffs is kind of a nightmare for this team. Obviously, 2 years in a row not being the postseason would be disastrous for San Francisco. Defensively, we're 27th in the NFL, 15th on offense. So 34-7 from Brock Purdy. 12 touchdowns, 1,200 yards from McCaffrey. Brandon Ayuk, 15 touchdowns, so good season there. Ricky Pearsall, Juwan Jennings were fine. And then defensively, sacks-wise, we had 7 from Bosa, which is not enough. 6.5 from Floyd, 5 from Matos, 1.5 from Warner, 1 from Greenlaw, and 1 from Collins. And of course, we saw Reed had 8 interceptions and Greenlaw with 5. So not great. While yes, it is over 500, this is not where we want to be. We're about to pay Brock Purdy, so it's going to be a very challenging offseason, but I'm prepared to see what we're going to be able to do, and we shall find out. So $87.7 million in cap space. A lot of that chunk is going to be bye-bye here with the Brock Purdy extension. Kittle is also a free agent. Jennings is a free agent. Outside of that, it's not too bad. Thankfully, you drafted a D tackle. Collins can walk. And then Zyler, we're going to probably let go as well. And Leonard Floyd, we're going to let go, who's regressed down to a 72 overall. So, obviously, Brock Purdy, yeah, a lot of that money is about to go bye-bye here with the Brock Purdy extension. And he says he's not interested. Well, too bad. Oh, my God. $65 million in cap space. Oh, my gosh. Okay. I guess I shouldn't have been so conservative. I should have just offered more. Well, I mean, no, regardless, we're not going to let him walk. I don't care. I'm going to let him go to free agency because a $65 million franchise tag is just crazy. But that's eventually what the number will get to, I think, which is wild to think about. But Kittle, I'm not going to mess around. Just come back, Kittle. Okay, so that's good. That's taken care of. Jennings, yeah, I want to bring him back too, but I'll go neutral offer on this. And he says yes. Okay, and we'll leave the rest of the money open in hopes to bring Purdy in free agency. But I can't franchise tag him for $65 million. We need a long-term extension done here. Thankfully, he was interested in coming back. He says, I'm not coming back, which, you know, he should. Well, let's see what his offers are. So we won't mess around anymore. Oh, my gosh. Look how much money this man's getting. We can't even make that offer. What about now? No? Okay. Well, let's go to team-friendly. Player-friendly, I should say. No, not team-friendly. We can't do team-friendly. Okay, how much do we need to bring this down? Because that might hurt us a little bit, but I guess that's what we have to do. Still not enough. I mean, it says we have... I don't get that when it does this. Because the number goes up? I don't know. Still can't offer this. All right, well, how about now? What do we got now? Okay, well, let's keep going down, and see if that comes through. Finally got an offer on the table. And we are just the number one offer, but... as I mentioned, the hopes is he will resign, and that's all of our cap space. So we really can't do anything else in free agency. So fingers crossed he signs so I don't have to make some weird stuff happen. And he does. Oh my gosh, that makes things so much easier. So Purdy comes back, thankfully, because if he would have left, that would have made things extremely complicated, but thankfully I don't have to worry about it. So yeah, after that, we have no money. So no money, everything's gone, unless if we release some players and start restructuring contracts, obviously. But I don't think I will do that. Pooney, Brenthal. So the O-line needs to be addressed. Obviously, Jonah could become something here, technically. He's actually a 7-3 at right tackle, so I guess we could move him over to right tackle and see what he becomes there. That could solve that problem. We can just focus on the guard spot. I don't mind it. We got to find any way to save, you know, money here. So, Jonah, if you want to become a right tackle and you end up being solid there, I am cool with that. That maybe could solve that position. So 72 overall, you know, star dev. Yeah, we can rock with that. And then defensively, Kobe King's up to an 80 overall already, which is awesome. We need an edge rusher, and Williams is going to start. Hargraves is still fine here. But yeah, all this is going to have to stay the same. So to me, the only thing we need to worry about is an edge, and also, of course, the O-line. That's all we can really do, and that's all we need, thankfully. So I'll see you guys in draft night, where we will continue to try to build the team out. But hopefully we're able to hit big in the draft. The one rule I want to make is I can't draft TJ Parker, although he would be excellent, but I get him like every freaking video. So I'm going to try for a different edge rusher if we find one. We'll also have a decently high pick. Oh, I guess it's kind of the middle, so it's not that high, but we're picking 17. So Ruben Bain, Folk are gone. Jordan Hall goes, and now we'll take a look. So let's see what we got on the board. As I mentioned, TJ Parker is always here, and while he is a perfect... Oh, Caleb Downs is here too. Oh my God, bro. Ooh, I mean, we got to take him, right? We got to take him. He should not fall this far. Welcome to the Niners. He's the best player available by far here, so you can't pass on that. 17 true value. Did we need a free safety? Not really, but you can't pass on the talent. I don't know why sometimes he just falls in this draft. It's very confusing, but picking at 49, we need to get an O-lineman and an edge, so let's see if we can get that done now. So York, we got Zachariah Branch, DJ Hicks, Samuel, power rusher, so might be the guy here for us. A pursuit, B tackle, A to B zone coverage. Speed is elite. Could be a coverage guy, but also could be put at end. So a lot of different things we could do with him. So I'm definitely looking at his direction right now. But let's look at all of our other options really quickly. Perkins also isn't a bad idea, but let's go just take a look at the ends really quickly as well. So we have Cameron Robertson. I guess we could sort this better. So Deebo, I don't know how the hell to say this name, but Overton, Etta, but maybe we just go for one of these guys. So A tackle, A for Nelson moves, B power moves, speed is good. Don't know how to say his name, but he's probably a badass. So you know what? We're going to take him. So that's a badass name. And he's 87 true value, 49 hidden depth. I don't think I've ever taken him in a video before, so that's different. So I like it. That replaces Leonard Floyd being gone. And now for round 3, where we'll be taking a guard or a center probably. So let's see, or even any O lineman that we could move around. So Aller, Wilson, but what O lineman do we have? So the one O lineman, I guess we have Zach Rice here out of North Carolina. So that's interesting. But there's Dewberry out of Texas A&M. So he's a day 3 pick, impact blocking, C pass block, B run block. Speed is marginal. We're going to take him. So welcome to the Niners, Cam Dewberry. And what a brutal pick. Normal dev. Yeah, I deserve that. So not great. So O-line could be pretty bad this year. But it is what it is. We swung and we missed. It happens sometimes. All executives fail at times, and I just happen to fail there. So I will see you guys, though, with the lineup for year 2, where hopefully we can finish over 500 again, but this time playoffs, because that would be disastrous if we miss it 2 years in a row, obviously. Let's go ahead and take a look at this fine lineup for year number 2. Year 1 was 9-8, so hopefully this year we can have double-digit wins. So yeah, O-line, Dewberry was just a brutal pick. My fault, guys. I apologize, but it's whatever. It is what it is. Not much we can do about it now. So Juwan Jennings, Brock Purdy. So everything's basically the same on the offense. Nothing really changed here, obviously. Defensively, we have Caleb Downs, which I forgot we even drafted him for a second, but yeah. And then this guy's a 75 overall at the gate too, which is awesome. And yeah, it looks okay. So this team should be really good. It should be. That is, in theory, we should be a playoff team, but we'll see if it works out that way. I'll see you guys at the end of year 2. Hopefully we make the playoffs, because that's where we deserve to be, and that's where we need to be. And you wouldn't believe it, I am seeing the exact same thing. We finished 9-8 again. I guess we're consistent, but not the consistency we want to be. And once again, the division was won at 10 wins. Okay, well, hopefully third time is a charm. 2 years in a row, we have not made the playoffs, but have finished over 500. What a disaster. Offensively, 21st NFL, so that took a step back a little bit. And defensively, we were 23rd. So McCaffrey, I guess, ran for less yards, and then Brock Purdy had 400 rushing yards. Brandon Ayuk continues to be really good at the wide receiver 1 spot. Maybe a playbook changes in order. I don't know. 8.5 sacks from Bosa, 3.5 from Hargrave. But yeah, just brutal, man. I mean, missing the playoffs 2 years in a row is just really bad with this roster. So back to the drawing board again for a third offseason, and we'll see how much cap space we have and what our options are. I know Fred Warner, I believe, is a free agent this offseason, so things will get interesting here. So as you guys can see, we're walking into this offseason with negative $19.5 million in cap space. So pretty brutal stuff. I'm curious to see who our free agents are. I knew Fred Warner was one of them. Reed also is one, and then Jair Brown. We did just take Caleb Downs, so thankfully we don't have to worry about that too much. Ricky Pearsall is just a 5th-year option, which we'll accept. And outside of that, there's not much of anybody else. But obviously, I want to bring Fred Warner back, but we got to find a way to make that happen. And DJ Reed, wouldn't mind bringing him back too if we can. So let's go take a look to see what a kind of contracts we're able to restructure, because we're probably all in. So just out of the gate, obviously got to if we're going to bring in these guys back, we got to restructure some salaries, and we're basically all in this season. Brock Purdy frees us up quite a bit. Ayuk, I assume, would free us up. Yep. So yeah, we're going to have no money at all, guys, by the way. So this season is it. Like, there's no point for a 4th season. Like, there's just literally no point of that. So we could save a ton of money by cutting McCaffrey technically, or trading him. So we might do that, which I would hate to do, but he wasn't that productive last year, and he's down to an 86 overall. So I think we're going to trade Christian McCaffrey as well here in a second. Hopefully that gives us enough money. So that's $25 million in cap space. So that should give us enough money maybe to offer on Fred Warner, but Reed would have to hit free agency, which I guess is fine. So we have just enough to make an offer at Fred Warner. But once we pay, obviously, once we trade McCaffrey, we maybe could bring in DJ Reed, or maybe there's a different corner that's better out there. So yeah, that's what we're going to have to do. So unfortunately, McCaffrey becomes a cap casualty just based off the production and his regression. And we'll see what kind of trade we can get from McCaffrey. Obviously, when he was traded to the Niners, I think someone else retired on us, maybe. That's definitely concerning as well. But obviously, when McCaffrey was traded, he was traded for a plethora of picks, but I think one of them ended up being a second. So if we can find a third, I think, for McCaffrey, that'd be ideal. That's my hope anyway. So I think Hargrave, well, I think he was a free agent anyway. But yeah, I guess we'll see. So I'll see you guys with a trade for McCaffrey to free up more money. I'm going to get a high 3rd round pick from the Patriots for Christian McCaffrey. So McCaffrey gets sent for a 3rd, and that's the most optimistic I think you could be at this stage of his career, and obviously the injury history. And we've simulated 2 years into the future, so his value could only go down from there, unless if he just keeps going off. But he didn't really do that last year. So that's why his regression, or I guess his production, doesn't match. Like in a third is very optimistic, I think. But this is down the line, so who knows, right? So Grindo becomes our RB1, but I don't know if I can rock with that as the option. So Juwan Jennings, Ayuk is superstar X Factor, which is awesome. We still won't mess with the wide receiver core. We're going to leave that the way it is. So O-line and running back now is still the issue. Defensively, we need a D tackle and hopefully a corner. Caleb Downs comes in as a superstar depth, which is great. But all right, let's go to free agency and let's see who's here. So we don't have that much money. CJ Gardner-Johnson, he's easily become one of the most hated players lately with the way he talks. But hey, he got a championship, so what can we really say to him, right? All right, so let's go to Elton Jenkins. I think he'd be good if we can bring him in opposite of Purdy. I think we'd go for that. That'd be great. And then I would love to bring DJ Reed back, I think, just to kind of keep that continuity there. But yeah, I think this would be fine. I think if those are our two additions, I could live with that. So let's see if we get those two guys. And no, we don't get Reed back. Wow. So we get Elton Jenkins, which is great. Corners, what else? We have, oh gosh, we don't really have any good options here. So corner becomes a need in the draft as well. And then what running backs were here? Was there even good ones? Jordan Mason, who I guess was a 49er once upon a time. Chase Brown. We'd probably have to draft one. So we'll draft a running back. And we will also draft a corner probably. So a running back in the corner with that extra pick from McCaffrey. Or we could even trade for one, which I don't hate the idea of. Maybe we could sign a center with the money we have left. So, and the D tackle. There's a lot more. So corner's we're just gonna have to rock with Lenoir as our corner one and hope it works out, I guess. But D tackle, pretty important. So let's go see if there's a D tackle and a center that's worth starting next year in free agency. Probably be all of our money gone. We could probably only get one if I had to guess. But let's take a look at least. D tackle, we got Idugazua, and outside of that we have Poona Ford and Mozzie Smith. So nobody too significant. Let's see what the centers are looking like here. So centers, we have Ryan Kelly and Aaron Brewer. Aaron Brewer actually doesn't sound too bad. So if we can get him, I think I'd be fine with that. So we'll offer him a 2-year deal, 29 years old, and he will sign, it looks like. So we'll go for Aaron Brewer. I actually don't think we're going to be able to trade for anybody like I just kind of mentioned I was going to do. So instead, if we have money for Poona Ford, who is fine, I'll just go for him, I guess, to be the D tackle too. But yeah, this is what it'll be. So that will be our offseason again, and then we'll still have the draft ahead of us. So let's go try to bank the draft like we've been doing. So running back and corner is my hope in this one, as we're picking 15th overall. So let's see what's on the board for those two positions, if there's anybody of value to us. So Donnell Kidd goes off the board for we're about to pick. Maybe it would have been a great pick for us. We have Byron Lane. We have Justin Hill, DeAndre Henning, Woodson, Batten. So we have Tashawn Spears out of West Virginia. So there is a corner prospect on the board. So let's see what we got. A-zone, C-man. Speed is good. He's the best. Well, let's look at all the corners really quickly. So I definitely want to take a corner here in round 1 if possible. So Spears, and then let's look at Joe McBean real quickly. So B-man, B-zone, speed is elite. I like that a little bit better. So I'm going to take Joe McBean here. Let's see if we can't get him out of the team. So 12 in true value. Looks like I made a good, good decision by looking at the other corner instead of just settling on the first guy I looked at. So nice drafting by me, I guess. But all right, round 2, hoping to draft a running back at this point. So let's see if we have a good one. So Terrence Jackson, who I believe was the highest ranked running back. I know Orchard's pretty good, but Arizona State running back Terrence Jackson, B break tackle, C carrying. Speed is great, but again, let's go look at all the options very quickly and see if there's anybody else worth looking at. So we have an elusive back in Willie Royals at Ohio State, A break tackle, A ball carrier vision, and speed is good. So I don't think we can go wrong with either, but I'm going to take Willie Royals here. So let's see if he's good. 17 true value, drafted in 47. So far, looking at the second option has worked out better. So that's good. So we got our CMC replacement, I guess. I've not heard of Willie Royals before, but now we have 2 third-rounders. This was from the McCaffrey trade, so we'll just kind of sell on anything we like here. So we have, this guy looks absolutely, how is this guy a wide receiver with a double chin? That looks pretty interesting, I won't lie to you. But Deshaun Cofield out of Rice. C catching speed is decent. Don't like that already. Let's look at this Roseman dude at Alabama. He looks just interesting, to say the least. Speed is solid. I'm going to take him for the memes, bro. Like, look at this man. He's got a freaking double chin. What are we doing? So let's bring him in. And rightfully so, he's pretty bad. Dude, what is wrong with his face? For an NFL player, that's weird to look at. But we'll make it work. All right, so for a wide receiver, I mean, obviously O-line, that's possible for that to be the case because of how big those boys are. Wow, interesting. So, and then Z-Tap, speed, nope, don't like that. Speed is marginal. And then let's look at Belton really quickly. So D-Zone, C-Man, speed is poor. No thank you then. What else? Van Buren or McLean. Look at David McLean, I guess. F-Zone, speed is solid. I don't like any of these options. I'm just going to let the assistant GM take care of it. All right, let's go take a look at the lineup for year 3. It'll be the last year to hopefully make the playoffs. If we don't, be brutal, pretty brutal way to end the video. But like I said, there's literally 0 point of having an offseason next year because we'll have no money to our name at all. So here is the lineup for year number 3. I'm going to start Willie Royals out of the gate because I want him to start over Grendo to see what he can do for us. But offense is basically the same other than Brewer and Jenkins were added this offseason. Defensively, we added McBean, who ended up being a 77 overall. And then that wide receiver we drafted, which I actually didn't even look to see what he was. He is a 70 overall, so nice. But Royals and obviously McBean are our new additions. So we'll see how it goes. The hope is to make the playoffs this year for the first time in this video. If we don't, that'd be pretty brutal. But we'll see. Do I change the playbook? I don't want to because Kyle Shanahan is an offensive mastermind in real life, but I don't know. Whatever reason, it hasn't worked out. But I'm going to leave the playbook the same. Well, something's different this year. I'll see you guys again at the end of year 3, where hopefully this time in the playoffs, but we shall find out. So at the end of the season, we finally make the playoffs and win one more game than we have the previous 2 times and won the division. So look at that. 10-7 has won the division. Actually, looks like this year 9-8 would have won his division too. So we'll take it though. We're the 3rd seed and we get to play the 5th seeded Philadelphia Eagles, which isn't an ideal first round matchup, but that is what we drew. So offensively, 23rd in the NFL, and then defensively, 21st in the NFL. So 34-9 from Brock Purdy, 10 touchdowns and 600 yards from Willie Royals, 1,100 yards, 7 touchdowns, or 17 from Ayuk, 900 from Juwan Jennings, 800 from Kittle, and 600 from Ricky Pearsall. Sacks-wise, 8 from Nick Bosa, 5.5 from Greenlaw, 5.5 from Tyreek Williams, 3 from Deebo. Yeah, I didn't say that right. Okay, 4 receptions from Warner, 3 from McBean, and then 2 from Green, and 1 from Mufongo, 1 from King, 1 from Mustafa. All right. Well, the fact that we drew the Eagles in round 1 definitely scares me a little bit because obviously, like I said, this is our last season regardless. If we can't beat the Eagles, then we literally didn't win a single playoff game in this entire video, which would be pretty brutal, but I will still upload it. I don't care. So we'll see. We're playing the Eagles, and fingers crossed, we're able to beat them. Thankful we're at home. We'll see if it matters, though. We'll find out. So the Eagles coming into San Francisco obviously scares me a little bit, but hopefully we can find a way to win here. But they will go up 7-0 on their first drive, and they burnt the whole first quarter. Thankfully, we scored very quickly on them, but they're doing the same thing. But thankfully, we're responding. Can we keep it up here with the ball back? Okay, now it's 14-14 so far. Okay, we get great field position after recovery from us, and we take the field goal lead and an interception from Lenore. 20-14, and I think, oh, we have the ball. So all we got to, oh no, this game's over. What am I talking about? We just nailed this out. So let's go back to skipping this, but this game is over, and we just beat the Eagles in round 1. So just like that, 20-14, I thought I needed to jump in to save the day for a second because I thought to get the ball back, but no, it was our ball. Our offense and defense took care of business, and we're moving on to divisional weekend. But thankfully, we're not going home with no playoff wins in this video because that would have been pretty brutal. So after winning a home playoff game, we now find ourselves on the road. So we get to play one of the higher seeds, that being the Vikings. So I assume the Vikings are the 2nd seed, which is what's going on right now. So we get the ball to start things off. So let's see if we can't start fast. And we do. 7-0 start. Can we go up 14? Interception from, I don't even know who it was. I skipped it too fast. But an interception nonetheless. Who is there? I'm assuming McCarthy's starting. And another interception from our rookie. 21-7 lead. And that is so far great. 28-7, and this is exactly what you'd expect out of a Niners team, and this is going extremely well, and that's going to be all she wrote. So just like that, the defense and the offense played extremely well. A couple turnovers for us. McCarthy and Brock Purdy went at it, but we come out on top, and now we're headed to the NFC Championship. But now we get to play another NFC East opponent, and that is going to be, of course, the Dallas Cowboys. So it would be interesting to see San Francisco and Washington match up in the playoffs if it happens next year because of Deebo being on the team. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. So we get the ball to start things off. We've been able to start fast, but not in this one. They didn't either, so that's good. Still no. Okay, so neither team has scored an interception from Fred Warner, which is huge, but they will draw first blood 7-0. We need a response, and we don't get it. And the Cowboys are going to go 14-0. So can we? No. Is this where it all comes to an end? We're going to get blown out by Dallas 7-20, and that's it. That's all she wrote. So it says I can jump in, but I can't, obviously. That game is over. So we get all the way to the NFC Championship just to lose to the Dallas Cowboys. So obviously the Niners in the previous couple of meetups with them have owned them, but unfortunately not this time. So it's good we at least got to the NFC Championship, because this video was turning to really bad if it would have been worse than that. Not a great day from Brock Purdy, but unfortunately fall short of our goal of getting back to the Super Bowl. I hope you guys enjoyed the video regardless. I'll see you on the next one. This is Crushables. I'm saying peace.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.